speaking with intention when you wake up doesn't require anything dramatic. You don't have to recite a long script or perform a ritual. It begins with a whisper, a soft reminder, a gentle turning inward that says, before I let the world in, I will let love in. These first words are a signal, not just to your mind and heart, but to every cell in your body. When you say, I am safe, your nervous system responds. When you say, I trust today, your energy calms. When you say, something good is going to happen to me today, your eyes begin to look for goodness. Your mind begins to expect favor. And because of that shift, you open yourself to receive it. There is nothing magical about these words in isolation. The magic happens in your intention. The power is not in reciting something mindlessly, but in speaking it with the soft authority of someone who is remembering the truth. Because the truth is, you are not powerless. You are not merely reacting to life. You are participating in it. And every morning you are given the pen again. You are handed the mic. What will you speak over your day? Over yourself? Over the people you will encounter? Words shape expectation. And expectation shapes perception. Perception filters experience. And so the words you choose, especially in those early moments, determine how you see and ultimately how you live. The good news is, you don't need perfection. You only need presence. You don't need to feel 100% confident or healed or ready. You only need to begin. You only need to choose again, even if you wake up feeling heavy or unsure. That is all the more reason to take a sacred pause and plant the seed of new truth. It's okay if your voice shakes. It's okay if your belief wavers. Keep saying the words. Keep choosing them. Keep loving yourself with them. The power of first words isn't about controlling your day. It's about aligning with your soul. It's about gently returning to yourself before the world asks you to be anything else. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of goodness, that you are connected to something greater, and that you have the ability to call that greatness forward with every word you choose. So tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you reach for the coffee or the to-do list, reach for your soul. Speak gently, speak clearly, and speak light. Because when you do, you are not just shaping your morning, you are shaping your reality. And you are worth that kind of intentional beginning, always. The moments after you wake are some of the most powerful and spiritually sensitive of your entire day. Before your conscious mind is fully alert, before the noise of the world rushes in, there is a gentle stillness, a threshold between the unconscious and the conscious. It is here, in this delicate space, that you have the greatest access to the part of yourself that quietly governs your entire life, the subconscious mind. Your subconscious is like a garden. It does not question what is planted. It simply accepts and grows it. It does not distinguish between truth and illusion, fear and faith, love and limitation. It simply takes what you repeatedly give it and begins to weave it into the fabric of your reality. This is why so many of us continue to repeat the same emotional cycles, the same doubts, the same invisible fears, even when our conscious minds are desperate to change. Because unless the subconscious is addressed and gently retrained, transformation remains surface level and short-lived. But here's what is so beautiful. Your subconscious is most receptive when you are just waking up. In this state, what scientists call the theta brainwave state, you are more suggestible, more open, more easily influenced by thought, emotion, and language. It's the space between sleep and full wakefulness. And it is sacred. It is a doorway. And if you use it wisely with love and clarity, you can begin to reshape your inner world from the inside out. This is why saying intentional words, words of truth, healing, and affirmation, first thing in the morning is not just a motivational exercise. It is a deeply spiritual act of self-renewal. You are not just speaking to the day ahead. You are whispering directly to your subconscious, offering it a new pattern to hold, a new belief to nurture, a a new direction to guide you in.
Thử ngay hạt nêm arsenal mới, giảm muối vẫn ngon.
If your subconscious has been trained to believe I am not safe, or life is hard, or good things are rare, it will do everything in its power to validate those beliefs in your experience. Not because it is malicious, but because it believes it is keeping you safe by maintaining the familiar. But if you begin each day with the words, I am supported, or I welcome miracles, or life loves me, you are planting new seeds. At first they may not seem to take root. At first you may still feel resistance or disbelief. That's okay, that's normal. Reprogramming the subconscious is not about forcing belief. It's about consistency, softness, and love. Think of your subconscious like a child, tender, trusting, easily shaped by tone and repetition. Would you yell at a child to learn something new overnight? Of course not. You would speak gently. You would repeat yourself with patience. You would hold them with care as they learn. The same approach must be taken with your own inner world. You don't reprogram the subconscious by pushing harder. You do it by showing up every morning with a soft voice and a new message. Even if the message is simple, even if all you can say is, I am open, or I trust life today, that is enough. You are beginning to shift the story. You are teaching your subconscious a new song to hum throughout the day. And as you repeat these words day by day, morning by morning, something begins to change. Your reactions soften, your thoughts reroute, your emotional state stabilizes, and what once felt like a battle within begins to feel like a partnership. There is also great importance in the emotional tone with which you speak your morning words. The subconscious responds to emotion more than logic. You can say the most beautiful affirmation, but if you speak it with fear, disbelief, or frustration, the energy does not sink deeply. But if you say it with even a little love, with even the tiniest drop of faith, your subconscious will notice. It will open. It will begin to receive. So when you wake, give yourself a few moments. Don't rush. Don't immediately open your eyes to the demands of the world. Instead, place a hand on your heart. Breathe deeply and say something kind, something true, something healing. Speak directly to the part of you that is still listening from the dream world. Speak not from force, but from love. Tell yourself what you need to hear, and let that message carry you into your day with softness and power. You don't have to get it perfect. You don't have to feel completely confident. All you need is willingness. The willingness to believe that you are not stuck, that your mind can change, that your life can shift, and that it begins not with huge gestures, but with small, sacred choices, like the words you whisper to yourself at dawn. This is how you reprogram. This is how you awaken, not by shouting, but by softly returning to truth again and again. Your subconscious is always listening, so give it something beautiful to hold on to, something healing, something that tells the truth about who you are and who you are becoming. There is a subtle but life-altering difference between speaking from a place of alignment and speaking from a place of anxiety. Many people wake up and begin their day with words that are shaped by fear, pressure, or urgency, often without even realizing it. These words might sound practical or even responsible, like I have so much to do, or I hope nothing goes wrong today, or let's just get through this. But underneath those phrases lies an energy of disconnection, an unspoken belief that life must be endured, controlled, or survived. That energy becomes the undercurrent for the entire day. But what if your first words didn't come from fear? What if they weren't a reaction to past pain or future worries? What if instead your first words flowed from a deep sense of alignment, a calm, trusting connection to your higher self, to the divine, to the peaceful center within you? This is the invitation of speaking from alignment. It is a quiet rebellion against anxiety. It is a conscious return to truth. Alignment is not about being perfect. It's not about pretending everything is fine when it's not. Alignment simply means being centered in your true self, the part of you that is not frantic, not reactive, not performing, the part of you that knows you are enough, that you are powerful, and that you are connected to something greater than yourself. When you speak from that state, your words carry healing, not just for yourself, but for everyone you encounter. You radiate peace, not pressure, clarity, not confusion, trust, not control. Unsafe to relax. This is why the practice of speaking from alignment each morning is so healing. You are retraining your entire being, your body, your mind, your energy to feel safe in stillness. You are teaching yourself that it's okay to trust, that you don't have to carry the weight of the world, that life is not against you, that you can begin your day without rushing, without panicking, without shrinking. When you wake up and say something like, I am grounded, or I am connected to divine guidance, or I trust the flow of this day, you are creating a space inside of you where peace can live. You are not ignoring the challenges. You are simply choosing not to let fear speak first. You are saying, I see what's in front of me, but I choose to begin from wholeness, not worried. It's important to remember that words are not just sounds. They are energy. They carry vibration. When spoken from anxiety, they spread that vibration into every cell in your body. Your heart beats faster. Your breath becomes shallow. Your thoughts spin in every direction. But when you speak from alignment, everything softens. Your breath deepens. Your awareness expands. Your thoughts slow down. And in that space, you become magnetic. Not because you're trying, but because you are aligned. Speaking from alignment also allows you to respond to life instead of reacting to it. When your first words are rooted in anxiety, you begin your day already out of sync. Every little challenge feels overwhelming. Every small inconvenience feels like a threat. But when your first words are rooted in calm alignment, you become anchored. You move with intention, not impulse. You speak with grace, not defensiveness. You choose love, not fear. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice, a devotion. Each morning, you have to choose it again. And some mornings, anxiety will try to speak first. That's okay. You can still pause. You can still reset. You can still place a hand on your heart and gently say, let me come back. Let me speak from truth. You don't have to pretend to feel something you don't feel, but you can choose to lean into a different energy. You can say, even though I feel anxious, I choose to trust today. That's alignment. It's not the absence of discomfort. It's the willingness to stay connected in the middle of it. So when you wake up tomorrow, notice what energy is speaking through you. Notice whether your first words are declarations of trust or echoes of fear. And if you realize anxiety is steering your voice, don't judge yourself. Just pause, take a deep breath, and begin again. You are always allowed to come back to yourself, to speak from love, to lead your day with peace. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be poetic. It just has to be honest, calm, grounded, aligned. When you speak from that place, your whole day shifts, not because life becomes easier, but because you become clearer. And from that clarity, life begins to respond. At the center of every human being is a longing to feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally. Safe to be seen, to be loved, to make mistakes, to hope again. Emotional safety is the quiet soil in which growth, healing, and transformation take root. Without it, we armor ourselves, we harden, we retreat, we adapt our words, shrink our dreams, and often silence our truth, just to survive a world that doesn't always feel gentle. And yet emotional safety is not something that only comes from the outside. In fact, some of the most emotionally unsafe environments we experience are the ones we create within our own minds. This is where the power of affirmation becomes sacred. When used with intention, affirmations aren't just self-help phrases. They are invitations to return to inner safety. They are bridges back to the heart. Every time you speak loving, truthful words over yourself, especially at the beginning of the day, you are creating a sanctuary inside, a space where you can breathe, where you can unfold, where you can come home to yourself.
人がいて暮らしがある。そこには必ず思いがある。
Most people carry invisible wounds, words they heard growing up, experiences where they were punished for expressing feelings, moments when they were told they were too much, too sensitive, too emotional. Over time, those moments collect like stones in the soul, and slowly, without even realizing it, we begin to internalize the message. It's not safe to be me. It's not safe to be open. It's not safe to trust. These beliefs shape how we move through life. They dictate how we speak to ourselves, how we interpret the world, and how much we're willing to receive. But every affirmation spoken softly, sincerely, and consistently has the power to interrupt that old programming. It is the soul's way of whispering, there's another way. When you say, I am safe in my body, I trust myself, or it's okay to feel what I feel, you are offering yourself the very nourishment you may have been denied for years. You are choosing to become your own safe space. You are gently rewriting the story. The beauty of creating emotional safety through affirmation is that it doesn't require the world to change. You don't need everyone to suddenly understand you. You don't need life to be flawless or people to be perfect. What you need is to establish a refuge within, a space that is loving, compassionate, and kind toward your own experience. This is where true empowerment begins. When the voice inside of you becomes softer than the noise outside of you, everything changes. Many people misunderstand affirmations. They think they have to feel the truth of the words immediately. They think they're lying to themselves if they don't fully believe what they're saying yet. But that's not how healing works. You don't affirm because you already believe. You affirm because you are practicing belief. You are creating the conditions for belief to grow. Just like a plant doesn't bloom the moment it's watered, your heart won't always respond instantly. But over time, with patience, with presence, with repetition, it begins to open. It begins to remember. There is something deeply sacred about waking up and choosing to speak words of emotional safety over yourself, especially when your world has taught you to brace for impact, especially when anxiety whispers that you have to earn your worth or hide your tenderness. When you say, I am worthy of love, even when your chest is tight, even when your mind is racing, you are making a declaration that shifts the atmosphere within. You are no longer abandoning yourself. You are choosing to stay. That's what emotional safety truly is. The decision to stay with yourself, to sit with your emotions instead of running from them, to honor your needs instead of dismissing them, to be gentle with your healing instead of demanding perfection. Affirmations help you build that muscle. They remind you that you are not your past, you are not your trauma, you are not your fear, you are presence, you are light, you are worthy, right now, not after you fix or achieve or become something more. And the more you create this safety inside, the more your external life begins to mirror it. You begin to attract people who respect your boundaries. You begin to speak up for yourself with more ease. You begin to release environments that feel harsh and instead gravitate toward those that feel nourishing. This is not magic, it's alignment. The energy you cultivate within becomes the standard you no longer abandon outside of you. So when you wake up, let your first words be gentle. Let them create a home within you. Say, I welcome today with love, or I hold space for myself with kindness, or I am safe to live and love fully. These are not small acts. These are healing codes. These are soul messages that begin to repair the fracture between who you truly are and who you were told to be. No one else can do this for you. Emotional safety begins with you. And with every loving word, with every soft morning affirmation, you are building a new foundation, one that is strong, unshakable, and rooted in compassion. You deserve to feel safe within your own heart. And every day, with every word, you are remembering how. There is a common belief that to be powerful, we must be in control. That to succeed, to be safe, to be respected, we must micromanage every part of our day, every emotion, every moment. This belief is rooted in fear. Fear that if we do not hold tightly enough, things will fall apart. Fear that if we do not grip life with both hands, we will be overlooked, misunderstood, or hurt. But true spiritual power does not come from control. It comes from alignment. It comes from intention. It comes from love. To command your day is not to dominate it. It is not to bulldoze through your schedule or dictate every outcome. It is to set the tone, to speak with clarity, and to release your energy into the day with purpose and gentleness. It is to say, this day is mine, not to fight, but to flow with. When you command your day from love, you are not forcing things to happen. You are opening yourself up to be in harmony with the highest version of the day that is already available to you.
Sẵn sàng tỏa xuống, nghe cho gọi Olive. Với dòng Olive nguyên chất, cùng với sức khỏe hơn.
You see, life responds to your energy far more than your effort. You can push, strain, overplan, and still feel like you're spinning in circles. But when you begin your day with loving authority, you anchor your energy. You signal to life that you are present, grounded, and ready, not to control, but to co-create. This is where your morning words become so important. When you rise and declare, I welcome the good that is for me today, or I release what I cannot control and trust divine timing, you are not being passive. You are being profoundly intentional. You are choosing the frequency with which you wish to walk through the hours ahead. You are claiming your role, not as a puppet pulled by circumstance, but as a conscious participant in the unfolding of your experience. Control is rooted in scarcity. It whispers, if I don't make this happen, nothing will. It tightens your chest, narrows your vision, and floods your nervous system with pressure. But love opens. Love says, what is for me will not miss me. Love reminds you that life is not a test. It is a partnership. And the more you release the illusion of control, the more you can actually receive. Commanding your day with love means beginning with clarity. Before the world rushes in, before your phone lights up, or your mind starts racing, take a moment, close your eyes, breathe, place your hands over your heart or your belly. Feel your body and ask yourself, how do I want to feel today? Not just what you want to do, but how you want to move through the doing. Do you want to feel calm, confident, receptive, joyful? Declare it, name it, speak it. Your words shape your energy, and your energy shapes your day. This is not a poetic idea. It is a spiritual law. When you move through your day with fear, the world reflects it. When you walk in love, life opens to meet you there. Even when challenges arise, and they will, you meet them differently. You don't crumble. You don't spiral. You remember who you are. And from that place of remembrance, you respond, not react. This is the beauty of love-led living. It doesn't mean nothing hard ever happens. It means you are no longer ruled by what happens. You have become the calm within the storm. You have become the still voice that says, I will move with grace today. I will trust today. I will speak kindly, even to myself. There is nothing weak about this. Love is not weak. It is not passive. It is the most powerful force on earth. Love rearranges the molecules of your mind. It softens what fear made hard. It expands what control made tight. When you command your day with love, you become magnetic. You begin to notice ease where there once was effort. Opportunities find you. Synchronicities increase. People feel safer around you, and you feel safer inside yourself. Each morning is a fresh canvas. You do not need to paint the same story you lived yesterday. You do not have to carry forward the anxiety, the rush, the self-doubt. You can wake up and say, today I move with love, and that alone will shift everything. You can still make plans, you can still have goals, but let them come from inspiration, not desperation. Let them flow from a heart that feels whole, not from a wound that needs proving. That is the difference between commanding and controlling. One is rooted in love, the other in fear. So when the sun rises tomorrow, speak from your spirit. Say, I choose peace today. Say, I open my heart to the beauty of this day. Say, I walk in ease and all things are working for my highest good. You do not have to believe it perfectly for it to begin working. You simply need to be willing to let love lead, willing to trust that there is a greater rhythm than the one you try to force, willing to let go of control and step into creation. Because when love commands your day becomes a reflection of your truest self. And in that space, anything is possible.
You could be the smartest person in the room and still be ignored if you can't express your value. Communication is the bridge between who you are and what the world sees. You'll never get the job, the relationship, or the respect you want if your words confuse more than they connect. Great communicators build great lives because influence begins with clarity. No one is born a great speaker. Most are just afraid to say something wrong. The ones who improve are the ones who speak anyway, fail anyway, and learn anyway. What if better communication could change your life? What if knowing how to express yourself clearly helped you build stronger relationships, land your dream job, or finally speak up without fear? What if the only thing standing between you and your next big opportunity is the way you talk, listen, and connect with people? Most of us speak every day, but few of us stop to ask, are we really being understood? Or are we just talking and hoping someone gets it? Communication is more than words. It's confidence, clarity, and connection. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real, honest, and intentional. In this video, we're breaking down how to improve your communication skills in a simple, practical way you can start using today. No fluff, just results. If you're ready to speak with confidence, connect more deeply, and be truly heard, then let's dive in. Chapter 1. Practice active listening in every conversation daily. Most people walk through life feeling unheard, misunderstood, and disconnected from others. They talk, but no one really listens. They speak, but the other person is just waiting for their turn to reply. If you've ever spoken your heart out to someone and realized they didn't catch a word you said, you know exactly how frustrating that feels. You feel small, you feel invisible, and then you stop trying. But here's the thing, if you want real relationships, real impact, and real growth, you have to start by doing something most people never do. Listen with intention. I mean, really
我
listen
说
not
看
just to
得
reply,
到
not
啊，
just to check a
你
box, but to
快过
understand.
来帮
That's the
忙
beginning
啊！
of powerful
好
communication.
吧，我
That's
帮
where
你
transformation
追
starts.
小上。
And that's where we begin. Now, active listening isn't a trick or a fancy strategy. It's a daily habit. It's a way of showing the person in front of you that they matter, that their words aren't floating in the air, they're landing on someone who values them. Most people think communication is about talking better, but the truth is, the strongest communicators are the best listeners. Because when you listen with focus, you can speak with precision. When you fully hear what others are saying, you stop guessing, you stop assuming, and you start responding in a way that connects. That's how trust is built. That's how influence begins. Listening starts with presence. And presence means putting everything else aside. No phone in your hand, no distractions pulling at your focus. Just two people in a moment, one speaking, one truly listening. That's rare these days, and that's why it's powerful. Most people have forgotten how to be present. They're in conversations, but mentally, they're somewhere else. You can't connect that way. If you're always halfway in and halfway out, you'll never build strong relationships. You'll never understand what really matters to people. You'll only hear surface words, and you'll miss the deeper message underneath. And let me tell you what active listening looks like. It means you give your full attention. It means you listen not just to the words, but to the tone, the feeling, the energy behind them. People will tell you a lot more than what they say directly if you're paying attention. Listen to what they're emphasizing. Notice when their voice changes, when their body shifts, when their pace slows down. Those are the signals that matter. That's where the truth lives. You won't find that if you're already planning your response while they're still talking. We've got to unlearn the habit of interruption. It's a sign that we're prioritizing our voice over theirs. Interrupting says, what I have to say is more important than what you're saying. And even if that's not what you mean, that's how it feels. Over time, that damages your relationships. People start pulling away. They stop opening up. They stop trusting you with their thoughts because they've learned you're not really there for them. Active listening rebuilds that trust. It tells the other person, I'm here, I'm listening, I care. Now this isn't easy, especially if you've gone years just waiting for your turn to talk. It takes effort to slow down, to shut down the voice in your head that wants to jump in. But it's worth it, because every time you do it, every time you give someone your full attention, you're not just improving your communication, you're building something solid, something lasting. That's where your influence grows. Not in how loud you speak, but in how deeply you hear. Practice this every single day. Don't wait for important meetings or special occasions. Do it in your daily conversations, with your family, your co-workers, your friends. When someone talks to you, stop what you're doing, face them, look at them, show them they matter, and listen without rushing to judge, without rushing to fix, without rushing to respond. Just hear them. You'd be surprised how powerful that alone can be. And here's something else. Reflect what you hear, not to repeat like a parrot, but to show understanding. Say things like, so what you're saying is, or it sounds like you're feeling. This lets the other person know that you got the message, that you're not just nodding, but actually taking it in.